And look at this. We are starting off with some light rain this morning. In fact, here's some videos that we shot in Hillcrest and San Ysidro. All of this happening earlier this morning. You can see the shine and glimmer there of the rain on the roads, making things slick. And of course, some areas it is still, again, very much wet. So keep that in mind. So thanks for joining us, everyone, here at 6 a.m. I'm Chris Groh, in for Eric Connor.
And I'm Neda Irampour. Glad to have you with us. So let's send it over to Evan Nirani, back after a few days off.
Oh,
we
yes.
Missed you
a little
so
bit of a
much.
break.
I missed you both. It was a nice break, but came back to more the same.
More rain, yes.
I think, honestly, I think New York City was
in, Evan?
hotter. What?
When did you fly in and bring this rain with us?
From midnight to, I ended up landing at 3 a.m.
Wow. The time when you would normally wake up.
The time, exactly. And then I ended up going. I actually did tune into the A block of our 4:30 half hour.
Wow.
Yeah, you know how committed I am. There you go. But we are holding on to more of the same. We've got cloud cover out there, some light showers along the coast and inland. So you are waking up to some fog, to some wet roads. And then by the afternoon, we should start to see some of those clouds slowly break apart. Upper 50s this afternoon. In some cases, closer to the coast, will be down in the mid 50s. Coming up in just a bit, we will talk about the warming trend, though, that we could have on the way. You heard that right. Warmer, drier conditions coming as we inch toward the weekend. We'll give you some details in just a few. Back to you.
Evan, thank you so much. And now here's a question. Could encampments become illegal on public property? You know, all the tents we see on sidewalks. Well, that's the big question the city of San Diego will be considering today.
And it will be the Land Use and Housing Committee that's actually going to first take up this controversial proposal. And CBS 8's Dana Marie McNichol is live downtown with reaction. And Dana Marie, what are you hearing about this proposal from both sides?
Well, Chris and Ned, I can tell you that we're getting both sides of the situation. Residents we spoke to that live in downtown, most of them are for this proposed ban of encampments on public property. They look at it as a health and safety issue. We also spoke to people that are against it, who view this as a way to criminalize homelessness. Now, we did hear from council member Stephen Whitburn, who made the proposed ban. He said under the proposal, regardless of the availability of shelter beds, encampments would be banned within 2 blocks of libraries, shelters, transportation hubs, and schools, as well as in parks. Whitburn says his proposal would also establish a safe sleeping program where people living in tents can go. Now, one downtown resident we spoke to says he is compassionate to the homelessness crisis, but adds there's just a limit to what the community should have to endure. On the other side, we spoke to a volunteer with the student-based group, the Mustard Seed Project, which works to end chronic homelessness.
Keeping people away from these public spaces, it just kind of doesn't make sense to me at all. So that's another thing, is to remove some of the language, like make some compromises on this ordinance before you pass it.
And that meeting is the chance for you to have your voice heard about this issue. It starts at 1 p.m. It's open to the public, both online or over the phone. Head to CBS8.com for all the details if you'd like to attend. I'm Dana Marie McNichol, coming to you from Harbor Island.
Of course, we'll let you know what comes of that meeting. Dana Marie, thank you for that update. And now to new developments that are impacting our border. This morning, the Biden administration pausing its efforts to process people seeking asylum at the border. That's according to the Department of Homeland Security. The White House says the pause is temporary to ensure immigration agencies are ready for a potential increase in border crossings after the end of Title 42. It's expected to end next month. Title 42 is that pandemic-era policy that allows border agents to quickly turn back many migrants. Also new this morning, President Biden has reversed some of the restrictions on the DACA program, which helps protect undocumented migrants from deportation. Now, this move will help participants access government-funded health insurance programs. Biden's actions comes as the DACA program is in legal trouble, and the number of people eligible is actually shrinking. Right now, court orders are preventing Homeland Security from processing any new applicants.
And Encinitas, the city, it's adopting a citywide ban on smoking in public places. In fact, the council passed the ban unanimously last night. Now, smoking was already banned in many outdoor areas in Encinitas, including beaches, trails, parks, and outdoor dining areas. But now, smoking cigarettes, vapes, again, remember, vapes as well, e-cigarettes, and marijuana will be banned in parked cars, public places of employment, and public sidewalks. Smoking on private property still going to be allowed. It will take effect this July. And this morning, supervisors are pausing the search for candidates to fill one of the county's top jobs. We're talking about the search for a new chief administrative officer. Supervisors say they cannot take a vote until District 4, who you see right there, Supervisor Nathan Fletcher, he represents that district, and he is currently receiving treatment for PTSD and alcohol abuse. And Fletcher is also resigning next month after admitting to an affair with a former MTS employee. That woman is suing him for alleged sexual harassment and assault. Fletcher has denied those allegations. And this morning, California Senator Dianne Feinstein says her return to work after a bout with shingles has been delayed. She has asked Majority Leader Chuck Schumer to temporarily replace her on the Senate Judiciary Committee. Her absence has stopped the committee from being able to confirm judges and led to calls for her resignation. The 89-year-old's last Senate vote was on February 16th. She's missed nearly 60 votes since. No word on when she will return. She has already announced she won't run for re-election next year.
Okay, so what you're seeing right there would be the top of a car appearing in all of that water. Days of nonstop rain turning streets into rivers right now. This is happening in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Nearly a foot of rain fell in a matter of hours. Some reports now showing 24 inches of rain. So the city's airport had to close because the surrounding roads were flooded. Look what people have to deal with and try to walk through. The National Weather Service warning this is a, quote, extremely dangerous, life-threatening situation. The officials are telling everybody to stay off of the road so that they don't get stuck like this. These are all cars in the middle of the roadway there. Yeah, it certainly looks like a river. The mayor of Hollywood, Florida, telling CNN that, quote, this is the most severe flooding he has ever seen. So far, no reports of injuries or deaths, thankfully, but that much rain in a short amount of time, the infrastructure not capable to handle it all. Let's check in with Evan now. I guess that puts us into perspective.
Yeah,
We're waking
that
up
literally
to light
looked
rain.
like a boat parade, and it was just cars that were on the street. Wild how much wet weather has come down over the last couple days. 6:08 right now on the clock here. Locally, we've had just trace amounts, few hundredths of an inch maybe, pretty minor overall, especially when you compare it to what the last several months have looked like for us. So we start off the morning with that dense marine layer, temperatures mostly in the 50s. Comparing these temperatures outside to where we were 24 hours ago, not much of a change, maybe 2-3 degrees cooler than yesterday. Otherwise, Borrego Springs is at the same temperature right now compared to 24 hours ago, 2 degrees along the coastline. So cloud cover is still very dense out there. We're still squeezing out a few showers. You'll wake up to some wet roads, and you'll also likely need to use maybe that level 1, as we mentioned, on the windshield wipers. However, not all that much in terms of accumulating rain throughout the day, very similar to what we saw yesterday. What we do have instead is a building ridge of high pressure. That ridge of high pressure is going to block us out from rain for the weekend. It's also going to help to encourage a temperature warm up. So today, 10-15 degrees cooler than average. We start to move toward average, Sunday being the warmest day over the next about 5 days or so. And then it looks like as we head into the beginning of next week, sure, we're going to have a minor cool down on the way. It's not going to be all that notable, but another trough of low pressure will move in before a ridge builds on the back end of that. So it's a bit of an up and down. We climb up between now and Sunday, drop back down, and then back up by the end of next week. As far as your wind speeds go and your rain chances, well, we're still staying in about that 10 to 20% range for today with the few remaining showers that we have on hand for the morning and afternoon before things dwindle, and same with your rain chances, with your wind. Onshore flow remains significant. Wind advisory remains for your mountains and deserts. That expires at 11 a.m. today with 20 to 30 mile-per-hour winds out there. Now for traffic, we want to give you a look at what border wait times are looking at right now from CBP. It's 175 minutes right now for the general line at the San Ysidro Port of Entry, 80 minutes for the general line at the Otay Mesa Port of Entry. So expect some delays, but it is typical for a workday morning. I'll send things back to you, too.